Hello, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Life on the Flipside. Yeah, today is going to be a bit of a rough one, guys. I'm going to give you that now. I've had a little bit of a bug for the last couple of days, and yes, I'm feeling better. My throat is a bit fucked, but other than that, I'm good. So today is going to be a little bit rough. We'll get through it. It's going to be awesome. I am here, of course, with my excellent co-host, Stephen Cup of Reason. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful, dear. How are you?
I'm all right. You've had a good weekend.
Yeah, I did. I had an absolutely awesome weekend. It started with like 3:00 in the morning for me on Friday or Saturday morning. I was on with Mr. Sensible.
Yep.
And then I had the premiere of episode 3 of Pain of Progress. And then right after that, I was on with Team for 7.5 hours.
Yeah, those Whiskey Wednesdays, which you went on Friday this week, they have a reputation of going for 14 hours.
Yeah, absolutely. But it was fun, though. It was great. Had some good conversations. And, it's just a really good bunch over there. So, yeah, it's been a busy weekend. And then spent most of the day yesterday just working on ideas for Series 5.
Yay!
And, and then came today. We've been having really, really heavy rains this weekend. And it's gotten to the point where today I've had a constant chill. And now I've got a headache. It's like
you're getting what I had. So we had since Tuesday, Wednesday, we had like proper torrential rain. And I have when I'm going into work, I can get the bus, but even with the bus, it leaves me like 15-minute walk into work. Otherwise, it's about 40 minutes walk into work.
Wow.
And yeah, so it's like 15 minutes walking through torrential rain. And it doesn't matter how good your rain gear is, that's not a good idea. And then having to sit there and work for like 8 hours and then walk home in it, it just sucked. So that's why I kind of came down with the bug.
Yeah, well, I haven't come down with a bug, just a headache from the chill, I think. So, but it looks like we're both going to have a bit of a rough one today, but that's okay. We'll make fun with it.
Yeah, and I want to have fun today because like the last couple of weeks has been so fucking heavy in general. Just everywhere. So yeah, we want to have fun today. So we're going to go through a series of random questions in a little while. And I mean proper fucking random. Just because. So yeah, brain.
Yeah,
where am I going?
Should be fun. I don't know. We can start off with just a little bit of a chit chat and just see how things are going.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I do agree with Tusk. There is no such thing as bad weather, only inappropriate clothing. As a farmer, you should know that. I do know that. And a lot of it was for being in farming, yeah, I wore layers and everything else. Being in Dublin, I don't really have that problem. I still have that habit where I'll build up the layers, but it still doesn't protect you. When you're immunocompromised, it still doesn't protect you when you're out for 15, 20 minutes at a time. In torrential rain. Like the last time I was out in torrential rain, like proper torrential rain, was nearly this time last year, and I ended up in hospital with pneumonia. So it doesn't matter how good your clothing is when it's that bad, you're still going to be fucked. Like it doesn't matter how good your gear is. And I have welly boots. Like I was walking to work in welly boots. Yes, I still have welly boots. Don't judge me. I love my wellies. Wellies are a way of life. Okay, wellies are a way of life. So I was walking to work in the welly boots. It's about 5 minutes from my house to the bus stop, and the bus stop does have a cover. And then, so you're still getting drenched on the way to the bus stop. You're getting drenched as soon as you get off the bus, and it's 15, 20 minutes walk. So yes, see, Etty gets it. Eddie gets it. Tusk, wellies for the win.
Wellies.
So yeah, what was it?
What?
All you can do when the rain is so heavy is learn not to care about how wet you get. Yes, exactly,
Yeah.
Neil. I learned a long time ago by being on the farm. I learned how to put layers on, in an appropriate way. Like what are the best things to wear in order to maintain the body heat. But
Yeah.
it still doesn't protect you when your face and your hands and everything else are getting absolutely soaked. You're still going to get soaked. You just keep
Hmm.
pushing through. Whereas a
Hmm.
lot of people, and I learned that as well when I was in Cuba, that like some of those big torrential rains, when you run or when you try to run, what's going to happen is your skin, your clothes get more attached to your skin when you run because you're running with force, and
Hmm.
then it's the force of the rain on you as well. So you're actually worse off. I learned that in Cuba of all places, that you're doing worse to your body when you run out of heavy rain because of the force that you're running and wet clothes and heavy clothes and stuff like that. So it's better actually to take your time and not panic.
Hmm. Exactly. You're gonna get wet. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. So
So running ain't gonna help you. That's all there is to it.
Eddie says, "Oh, OMG, when the water drips down your head and down your back, it's so sad." See, that's why you have rain jackets. That's why. So I have when I'm out in the rain like that, I have a cap. So like a baseball cap or whatever. I have a cap. Then I have a a hat, like one of the woolly
Hmm.
hats, and then you'd have the raincoat. So
Yeah.
even as it seeps through each layer, you're less likely to get like wet in terms of how severe it is. So
Hmm.
that's what I do. That's what I do. But I'm a weirdo, so I'm good. I'm good. That's what I learned to do. It works for me, people. It works for me. No judgment. Although last year when I was out in yeah, Martin H umbrellas anyway. Problem with umbrellas, Martin, is you need a certain level of rainfall for an umbrella to be effective. I live in Ireland and rain mixed with I actually do you know what? Do you know what? I'm gonna show this because it's fucking hilarious. While we're on this. Give me one sec to pull it up. Um but when it comes to rain in Ireland we have heavy winds with the rain. So it's not just rain, it's the wind that'll actually get you. Um
Hmm.
and just there we go. So a couple of years ago we had a thing that happened uh, where a reporter was out in the end of a hurricane, and it was fucking hilarious. It was truly, truly hilarious because I'm going to show you now. Hang on, I have to take this down. Damn it. I'm going to show you what the result of that was. Um, where is it? There we go. So share my screen. Don't mind the high IQ tabs. People always slag me about. I always have about 15 tabs open. High IQ research. Have I put that up on the screen? Yes, I have. Sorry, people. Sorry. Okay. This is what happened when an Irish person got stuck out in a storm. This is the kind of winds that I was talking about. This is what we had the last couple of days. Hide that.
Don't make unnecessary journeys. Don't take risks on treacherous roads. And don't swim in the sea. Incredibly, people have been spotted in the water here in Blackrock and Salthill both today and yesterday.
Oh, that's. Oh my God. She got nailed.
That
She
that
got.
last bit didn't actually happen, but that was fucking hilarious. So yeah, but that's the kind of thing that we have to put up with.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
Um, those kinds of winds. That's the way it was the last couple of days. It was windy and it was wet and it was nasty. So umbrellas don't really do much.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm just going to I'm going to bring something up myself and give you guys a taste of what it's like here. Just give me one second.
While you're doing that. Oh, I see Little Wolf. Sir Little Wolf is in the chat. Hello to Little Wolf. Hello to Grumpy Old Man Joe. I love that name. But you have to get it. Yeah, stop. I love that. The amount of times that there was remixes done about that clip. I swear to God, it was fantastic. Etty and Tusk, of course. Hello, Tatty. Well, if only there was someone who was around to press buttons and make shit work on stream. I can make shit. It just takes a while.
Sorry.
And hello to Brady Photography. Good to see you, man. Right, what have you got for us?
Okay, this is what it's like during the rainy season for us here in Ho Chi Minh City.
Jesus.
There you go.
Riding around on fucking scooters.
Yeah.
In floods, people.
In floods. And that's not the worst of it. Last year, we had, it was so bad that we have, there.
Fucking hell. Why would people still go out in their mopeds and stuff in that? I don't understand it.
Because the rain sometimes hits so quickly. You're on your motorbike on your way home or on your way to, and you just get nailed, and all of a sudden it just floods. It's not that they intentionally went out in this stuff. They got caught in it.
Yikes. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense. I've seen similar stuff happen in Ireland where people will just do the most random, ridiculous thing, knowing that a flood is coming, knowing that stuff is going to happen. Like there was one, I'll give you a laugh. There was a sinkhole created in one of the side roads, and because of all the floods and because the pothole just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and because of the flood, it just big pothole, large enough for you to swim in. So this lad went down after a storm one day and started swimming in the pothole and filmed it and ended up getting arrested.
Now, imagine that same scenario, a sudden flash flood like you just saw on a street full of potholes, some of them big enough to swallow you. You can't see that under the water. So you're driving along and all of a sudden you're down to your neck in water, you know, and your motorbike is crushing your leg. I've seen that happen.
X-Penguin95 says, have lived in Singapore and Hong Kong, went through a few tropical storms and monsoons. So hot you ignored the rain as it dried off within 5 minutes. Interesting.
That's true. After the rains, it heats up real quick.
Yeah, see, for us, it doesn't. That's the problem. For us, it stays fucking freezing for another, like, several days afterwards. We can't recover like that because we're so far from the equator that there's just no heat at all. So, and that's part of the problem. Now, for the most part, you get used to it, but your system, especially when you're immunocompromised, your system never truly gets used to it, and that's what leads to like sudden illnesses and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Tuss says, I got caught in a storm in South America that was so bad that it was difficult to breathe. About 12 inches of water fell in 20 minutes, and we had been 5 minutes before we didn't exist anymore. Where we had been 5 minutes before didn't exist anymore. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Brady's photography was in Florida for Hurricane Irma. Jeebus. Ooh. Okay, yes. Let's get off the doom and gloom because this is turning depressing. Fuck. That's horrible. That is horrible.
It
But
is.
yeah. So basically that's why I'm if I sound a bit rough, that's why. So right, first question for you.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Aside from that video that I just showed, what was the last funny video you saw? Like one
the,
that got you pissing yourself?
the last funny video that got me pissing myself. I can't remember what the video was, but it was on ancient aliens. Oh, it was about this guy who used to work for NASA or Area 51 or something. And he was talking about intergalactic trading going on, like the stock market. So buying and selling technologies with aliens. And he believed that this stuff is actually going on in the background. I laughed my tits off when I heard that. I just couldn't believe somebody would be so gullible that they'd buy that.
For me, I have such a weird sense of humor. I think actually the funniest thing I watched. So I woke up this morning because of the illness. I've been waking up at random times during the day because the only time I actually sleep during the day is when I'm sick. So the last couple of days I've been in and out of consciousness. So I woke up at about 6 o'clock this morning, and for some reason ended up on YouTube, as you do, and Brainy Beaver was live.
Oh.
Yeah. He was celebrating 5,000 subscribers. Congratulations to Brainy Beaver. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
But he was going through these, I don't know what the fuck they were, but he was going through these this website with just random ridiculous stories. And one of them, I swear to God, one of them was something like your dick pics cured me of breast cancer or some shit like that. And I was in stitches. I was absolutely in stitches because him and his wife were reading these things off.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So if anyone hasn't caught Brainy Beaver's 5K special, definitely go over and have a look because, yeah, I think like that's the last one that really had me giggling. Before that, I don't know because I have such a weird sense of humor that I will laugh at stuff, but I won't like really giggle.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Right.
All right.
Next one. Hang on. I have to go back to the thing. What do you do to get rid of stress?
What do I do to get rid of stress? Beat up on flirps. I don't know. Actually, it's funny. The one thing that relieves stress best for me is actually working on Pain of Progress. Funny as that might sound, I actually get a lot of stress relief just burying myself in that.
Nice. What do I do to relieve stress? I walk. Like I used to be a cross country runner when I was in school, and I kind of stopped because all the smoking and drinking and shit like that. Yeah, I'm not healthy. I'm not healthy, people. But I used to be a cross country runner. So, the last 2 years, a couple of years ago, I busted my knee. Yeah, all the cartilage just went boom. So I can't run anymore. So I walk. I walk a lot. And I have to keep taking rests. But when I have to clear my head, when I have to, like, I don't deal with stress very well. I'm going to be honest. Insecurities are shit. So, and because I have bipolar, the way in which I deal with stress is just to put like Spotify on random because I have an eclectic taste. So I don't really care what music I'm listening to. So I put on random music and just try to work through it in my head,
Yeah.
or just try to forget about it, because part of the time it's if we leave a problem down and just leave it be for a minute. And this has happened to me so many times in my life, where you just have to, put all your insecurities into a box. You have to put
Hmm.
all the problems that you have into a box and just experience something new.
Yeah.
And when you do, it actually sometimes answers the questions that you had.
Hmm.
Or another scenario will pop up that will help you deal with this scenario that you're trying to avoid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I have certain music channels that I like to pop on and just have in the background, especially when I'm working on stuff like Pain of Progress.
the other thing for me, the biggest stress relief that I've ever had is working with animals, is being around animals. There are times where I will literally go into, like, obviously before the pandemic, I had the goats,
Yeah.
and I had the cats, and I had the dogs. So I just uh, pay attention to them. And
Hmm.
do you know what? Actually, sitting there on top of a hill, watching a bunch of goats just like play and eat and chill, that was a huge stress relief, because I
Hmm.
had so much stress on the farm. Um, I had debts to pay from the bills that were coming in. I had people that I was training in on how to look after the goats. I had obviously life to deal with, because when you're dealing with animals, you're dealing with life, and that doesn't always go to plan.
Hmm.
So a lot of it was just being able to stop, just being able to sit down and let your mind wander and look out at the amazing view that I had.
Hmm.
So when I get stressed now, it's very hard because there are no animals around. So sometimes what I do is I either go home to talk to my niece and nephew, because they're random as fuck, and the randomness is needed. Um, or I just go to the park, because there's always animals around and people will let you pet their animals. Although it's weird, just like saying hello to a new animal is sometimes stress relieving.
Hmm. Absolutely.
It just says, question, if you could, would you? And if there was no way to, will you stop? Getting philosophical there, Tusk. Um, the question of could, if you really want an answer to that, the question of could uh, is a difficult question to ask, because you have to balance could with should. And
Yeah.
if it's best for me at the time, absolutely. I've never been the type to turn down a new thing to do, a new thing to learn, a new opportunity to do something. Never been the type to actually say no to something new. So if I could, I probably would. If I should, so yeah. And if there was a way to, will you stop? Yes. If there's, you always need to draw a line. There's always a line in the stand that you need to draw for yourself. So if you need to stop, no matter what happens, you need to stop if it's right
Hmm.
for you. So again, the should always needs to be in there. Should it be right for you to stop? Then you need to stop, no matter what stresses you have, no matter what um, issues you're dealing with. If it's right that you should stop, then you should stop, and I would. And I actually proved that, because a lot was riding on me with that farm.
Hmm.
And it was my best friend who was running it. And to walk away from that life, because it was right for me at the time, I was being verbally abused. To walk away from that was a um, huge problem for me, because these were my animals. This was my way of life for 7 years. So yeah, if there was a way to, yeah, I would stop if it was right. If I
Hmm.
if I should, and even with the philosophical questions, no matter what question you come across, the should always come alongside the would. Like, would you do it? No, if it's right for you to do at that point. So yeah, I know you were ripping the piss, but fuck you, Tusk. I just answered your. Um, yeah, I would say I walk quite a bit for relieving stress. I am about 117 miles off hitting 1,000 miles walked since January. Wow.
That's a lot of walking.
Fuck. Congrats, man.
Yeah, those boots are made for walking. Walking is what I do. Okay.
Yeah, I work in a warehouse, so like I take about 10 to 20,000 steps a day. So it sucks. Brady's photography says, gonna have to be a big box to hold all my problems. It you can do it. Absolutely, Brady. You can absolutely do it. A girl that never says no. How come I've never met you at a dance? Because I don't dance anymore. I used to be like when I was a kid. Here's something people don't know about me. When I was a kid, I used to be in variety shows, so I used to sing and dance all the time. I don't do it anymore. But yeah, that's why I avoid dancing now.
Uh-huh.
Martin H. I find that rolling around on the floor in floods of tears, screaming "No, no, 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 no," really helps to relieve the stress. Yes. Screaming into a pillow or even crying. Like I do cry. I do cry.
Don't
when
we all?
it is an absolute fucking relief sometimes. Crying is a very good stress reliever, and not a lot of people realize that. Cry as much as you want to, people. And hashtag free Franklin. Who's Franklin?
Mhm.
Who's Franklin? Franklin
I
has to
don't know.
exist in order for him to be free.
I would agree with that statement.
Neil says, used to tap 33 beats per minute and had 33 routines. Routines are a very good way as well of getting rid of stress. Like, hi Lolcow, good to see you. I have bipolar, so having set routines is a good thing. Tusk, I had my crying muscles removed because I'm so tough and manly. That's part of the problem with yeah, he wishes. I know you cry. I know you cry. You cry every time I eat an Easter egg because you can't.
Can we get some confirmation on that, Eddie?
Right. We'll move on to the next one. Name something that you have ever been obsessed with, other than YouTube.
You're gonna find this really strange, but it's the organization of my workspace. Everything
Really?
must be in its place. I am very fastidious when it comes to organizing my workspace.
I'm the fucking opposite. Wow. Yeah. So you that was an obsession with you. I mean, for me, obsessions range from I don't know what was stuff that I was obsessed with. As a kid, it would have been stuff like Pokemon and stuff. I really loved Pokemon.
Oh.
Obsessions. I didn't really do obsessions.
Yeah, same here. I mean, if I had to name an obsession, it's probably just my fastidious nature. And I do get upset when people move things around or don't put things back where they belong. So I guess that's about the only obsession I really have. Although you could maybe say that I had a very healthy enjoyment of studying World War II history when I was younger, which led to my love of history now. But I don't know if you'd call that an obsession.
Okay. Sorry. Eddie says mine happens to be soft toys, Deadpool, and Star Wars. Soft toys forever. I never got into the whole teddies thing. My sister did. My sister had one of the original 70s or 80s versions of, and it was like up to your hip of, what was it? I can't think of the name of the teddy now. It was Paddington Bear.
I know Paddington Bear.
But this thing was up to your hip. It was fucking huge. And it was one of the
Jeez.
original ones from like,
Wow.
'cause my mom had it in the 70s or the 80s or whatever, fucking Paddington Bear. So I never really got into the Teddies thing.
Hmm. Well, Sir Little Wolf is obsessed with movies. What
Movies
kind of
are a great
movies?
escape.
Yeah.
Movies are a great escape.
My
Um,
favorite movies are black and white movies and old war movies from the 40s and 50s and the 60s. Those are my favorites.
See, I have such an eclectic taste. I don't really settle on one genre. Like, there's times where I really love drama. There's times where I really love fucking comedy. But if I'm
Hmm.
not in the mood for a comedy, I can't watch it. I just don't find it fun. Something that
Yeah.
I have found so funny, when I'm in the mood, I won't laugh at all, and it'll
Yeah.
ruin the movie. So, um,
Whenever people ask me what my favorite movie is of all time, um, I always get laughed at, so I stop telling people.
go on, go on, go on.
Do I have to?
Yes. Now that you've raised that, yes, you
Uh,
do.
all right. Call me crazy, call me bad taste, whatever. My favorite movie that I've seen ever uh, is actually While You Were Sleeping with
Oh,
Sandra
that's a
Bullock.
great movie.
I love that movie. I've seen it 1,000 times. I just love the interaction between her and her male counterpart.
That's a brilliant movie. I don't care what anyone says. That is actually a really good movie.
It's awesome. It really does. I just love it. My best scene was when they were walking back to her apartment, and she says, "Well, you don't have to walk behind me." And Bill Pullman says, "No, it's okay. You block the wind." And she just breaks out. That was the funniest scene. I loved it.
See, I don't have a favorite movie. That's the thing. It depends on what mood I'm in that day. I mean, the Die Hard movies will always be like, I can watch no matter what kind of mood I'm in. I can watch the Die Hard movies, which is weird.
Christmas wouldn't be Christmas without Die Hard.
Yeah, and yes, for if Johnny O is lurking in the chat, and JL, yes, they are Christmas movies.
Ooh. Brady Photography is obsessed with your beautiful voice.
Well, it sounds like I've fucking been dragged through nails at the moment. So,
Ah, Thor Rasmussen. I could not agree more. That
that's
is by far the best World War II movie ever made.
Do you know, actually, one of my favorite movies, and again, people can call it weird, was Robert Downey Jr. in Chaplin. That movie was one of the first movies that really just moved me,
Mm-hmm.
to the point that I could understand a lot of the subcontext. And like when that came out, when I saw it first, I was young enough. But there was so much in that movie, from comedy to drama to grief. It was just one of those movies,
Yeah.
that Chaplin was just, and the fact that in the end he actually gets to come back to Hollywood, and they actually covered that, because Chaplin for me was one of those big names that my granddad was into. My
Mm-hmm.
granddad was an opera singer. He trained Colin Wilkinson. He was one of Colin Wilkinson's trainers, who
Mm-hmm.
went on to star in Les Miserables.
Mm-hmm.
He was the original Jean Valjean on the West End. So my granddad actually gave up singing because he needed to put a roof over his family's head, and
Yeah.
that came first. He was a postal worker for most of his life, and
Mm-hmm.
so for me, a lot of the musical theater
Mm-hmm.
would have been stuff that I was raised with.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to
And we
think.
have a PhD Tony in the house. Hello, Tony.
Hey, Tony. Good to see you. It's quite early for Tony. I love him. So yeah, for me, I love musical theater. I genuinely love musical theater,
Mm-hmm.
and I got to see when Hamilton came over. I
Mm-hmm.
got to go see it, so I was happy. I was very happy.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And the thing with Hamilton, Actually, that did become a bit of an obsession because the thing that I liked about Hamilton, the only real thing that I really liked, is the ability to show historical figures as real people, as genuine people, both good and bad. They're both, and there's a thing. There's a line in Hamilton that really stuck with me. History paints me in all my mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
That it depends on who's telling the story. It all depends on who's telling the story, whether you're a villain or whether you're a hero. And I loved the fact that they picked up on that.
Yeah. And Tatty, you're right. Zulu is a very good movie. It's a great movie, but I still think Das Boot is better. I do. And Clive Wells, Bridge on the River Kwai, classic, absolute classic. All right, what's the next question?
Trying to see. Yeah. Besides computing, you know what's coming. Besides computing, like the laptop, the phone, what is the most useful thing that you own?
Right now, I would have to say my motorbike.
That is a good answer.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah,
B.
wouldn't
Rankin.
get to work without it.
B. Rankin says, if you need a fourth beardsman, Tony, you can always have Crafty just put a beard on her avatar. Please don't. Please fucking don't.
Yeah.
The most useful thing that I own, besides the electronics, because I'm big into my electronics.
Me too.
Electronics. Actually, I'm going to be honest with you. The most useful thing for me in my life, the one thing that I can't leave the house without, is a writing pad and a pen.
Ah, good answer.
I'm a sociologist. I've done stuff like reporting. I've done stuff like being involved in campaigns and stuff. But the most useful thing, other than a book, the most useful thing I will go back to, even with the laptop, even with everything that I have, the phone and everything else, I do have a date book. And I do have my writing pad. I need my writing pad. Otherwise, I don't feel safe. I don't know what it is. It's just... And I don't mean like... Because of my bipolar, I have certain things that will set me off. And one of the greatest things that I have is my ability to write. So if I get like anxious, I'll pull out my writing pad and I'll just write. It doesn't matter what I'm writing, but I'll just write. But I don't, my bag isn't complete. I always actually get a little bit, if I don't have access to my phone and if I don't have access to a writing pad.
Here's
I don't
one
know what
you'll
it is.
appreciate.
Shoes. I'm a postie. Yay, posties. Posties for life. Yeah. It's a weird thing because my granddad was in the post office for years. Well, he was a postman, and then he was a postman for about 12 years. And then for the rest of his life, he worked in the sorting office, in the largest sorting office. So it's weird that now I'm working with a somewhat postal company and I'm in the sorting office, just like he was. It's a very strange thing. Very cathartic, actually. Yeah, Mr. 42. I can't seem to leave the house without my body.
Well, you got a point there.
It's not about what you can and can't leave the house with. It's about useful things. Like, no matter what it is, I need to have a writing pad. I need to have a pen and paper because I don't feel... It's not even safe. I don't feel right if I don't have a writing pad. It's strange, but that's what I need. And a lot of stress relief as well actually comes from writing. But it's just that is a good question. It's a fucking strange one, but it's a good one. Other than YouTube, what is your favorite way to waste time?
Well, Other than YouTube, I really, it's like I said before the show, breathing.
You meditate? Do you meditate?
No, no, I don't
Well, then
meditate.
you
I
can't.
just,
Then you can't say breathing. If you don't meditate, you can't say breathing.
well, if I'm not on YouTube, I'm asleep.
So naps, basically. Not showing your age there at all, but naps.
Oh, okay, all right, all right.
I was thinking about this.
Ooh.
I read reports. That's like it's such a waste of time. Oh, for fuck's sake,
Mhm.
Jessica, can you stop? Can you stop right there? Fucking winding me up. Driving fast. See, photography. Brady Photography has it right. Franklin's Brown Matter hashtag FBN. No, just no. Here we go. Have you had dialectical behavior therapy? Never heard of it, but no. Like, can you explain what you mean by dialectical behavior therapy? Because I know what dialectics is. But do explain, V Rankin. That's an interesting one. Yeah. So the way in which I waste time is reading the most obscure bullshit reports that has absolutely nothing to do with anything I'm actually doing. And I'll read reports from the European Union. I'll read reports from the US Treasury Department for fucking no reason, like for absolute, and it's so obscure to anything I'm doing. And before I know it, there's like 3-4 hours have gone by. So yeah, that's one of the ways I really waste time. But I'm a procrastinator. I'm a big procrastinator.
I think we all are to some degree.
Right. Yeah, I'm not going to ask that because that's a bit too personal. Let me see. Yes. Is there something popular now that annoys you?
Something popular now that annoys me.
Yeah. So whether it's music, whether it's hairstyles, whether it's just one of those fads, is there anything that's actually popular right now that really annoys you?
I think right now what really annoys me that's becoming more and more popular here in Asia is people with multicolored hair.
Why?
It just annoys me, especially when it's people in my office. Like, teachers are supposed to be somewhat dignified, and we've got a teacher who's got purple hair one week and green the next week and blue the next week, and it just come on, you were not born with fuchsia hair. What? Oh, and often with the ladies, they have those like Jessie 10-2 does. I mean, she does it rather tastefully, but there are girls that I've seen in my office. They've got like bright yellow and a bright green and fuchsia down the middle, and then they're wearing like orange dress. It just clash city on legs. That annoys me.
Basic trigonometry says Crafty is trying to establish how much of an old man you are.
Well, she's succeeding, man, because that is like, oh, it bothers me. I'm sorry, it bothers me, but it just.
Yes, Micro. Yes, COVID. Everyone's getting it, and I wish it would stop. Fucking love it. Fucking love it.
So what about you?
See, again, I have such a juvenile attention span sometimes. And like Here's the thing, because we said before we're going live, I was saying I actually liked the earworms, like Baby Shark. I still love that song. Don't care how many times I hear it, I'll still fucking clap along to it. I'll still do the little moves. I'm not going to sing it. I'm not going to sing it. The likes of fucking Baby Shark and shit, I love that kind of stuff. I don't know why. It's so amusing to me because one, I like repetition. I do. I like repetition. And two, it's something so fucking stupid. Like Baby Shark was originally designed. Yeah, see, I don't need to sing it. Eshi is singing it for me.
That's right. Grumpy old man Joe, that's right. Shudder.
No. Back to Mr. 42 who says, you have to sing it now. You've triggered my daughter by just saying it.
Oh no.
I'm not gonna sing it. I'm not gonna sing it because I'll be nuked. But no. Stuff like that really, I don't know. There's an order to the chaos and I like it. And that kind of stuff, as juvenile as my sense of humor is, it just doesn't get old. I don't know why, but even like the song that never ends, I will sing that for 2 hours straight. I don't give a fuck.
I remember that.
Yeah, so that kind of stuff I like. Fads that are in that annoys me. Do you know what annoys me? Do you know what annoys me is when people watch something and they've watched it for a long time, right? People know I'm a big Doctor Who fan, and I've ranted about this before. But when you get into Doctor Who, there is an understanding that there's going to be another iteration of the Doctor. There's going to be a regeneration, and that it's going to change. The show has to change. And just because it doesn't live up to your expectations doesn't mean it's bad. It's the same way, because I've heard like there's a new Avatar on the way. I love Avatar. Fucking love. It's one of my favorite things of all time. Brady Photography has to go to the pharmacy. Take care, mate. I hope you get everything that you need. Yep. And I'll see you soon, I hope. But like Avatar, you can't watch Avatar the movie the way you would watch Avatar the show, and you can't watch Avatar the show with Aang, the original one, in the same way as you would watch The Legend of Korra. They're two completely different things, and so judging it on the basis, it's the same with all the remakes. That's what annoys me, is you get into a fad, you get into the one iteration of something, and therefore it can't change. And if it changes at all, it's awful. Because of, Airbender, yay, yes. And apparently Netflix are now, dude, Mario, you have to go and watch the original Airbender Avatar. It's on Netflix. Do yourself a favor and just watch it. It's fucking brilliant. It is everything that a show should be. Character development, every character in the show, whether, no matter how big or small, actually gets a proper backstory. It's how a show should run. And yeah, I didn't really like the film, but but I didn't dislike it either, because when you look at the film as a separate thing, it's not a bad thing. It's just different to what we're used to. So yeah, that's something that really annoys me. And it's people getting into a fandom, whether it be big or small, something that gets into something, and then as soon as it changes at all, they swear off it for life. Do you know what I mean? Just annoys me. Don't watch the film. Is Avatar that movie with the really tall Smurfs? No. Avatar the movie, there's Avatar, which was the Cameron bullshit. And there was like Avatar The Last Airbender. And yeah. So The Last Airbender is the Avatar that I'm talking about. The movie was full of one-dimensional characters, so it wasn't that great as a movie. The fucking TV show, man. The TV show was But I've also watched The Legend of Korra. But if you're looking at The Legend of Korra hoping for another The Last Airbender, you're not going to get it because the whole fucking setup is different. Yeah, so that kind of annoys me when people jump into fandoms and not understand that things fucking change, and it doesn't, just because you don't like how it's changed, it doesn't mean that it's actually bad. Rant over.
All right, next question.
I'm trying to find. Yeah. How long have you known your oldest friend?
I have known my oldest friend for 34 years.
Nice. And how did you meet them?
We both served together in the same regiment in the Canadian Armed Forces.
Huh. See,
Yeah, Third Regiment Royal Canadian Horse Artillery. We were both radio operators.
I don't have contact with many of my my older friends. I just don't do it. I don't know why. There's one that I met, I think, when I was 18. And he talks to me sometimes, and I'll respond every so often. I don't really have the same attachment with people that I do with animals. I just don't. I'm very fucking lazy when it comes to actually keeping up contact. People have to contact me, because when I was a teenager, because of where I lived, I had to always make the move to have friends, if you know what I mean. I was the one that always had to knock down for someone. I was the one that always had to phone someone. I was the one that always had to text me. And I just got fucking sick of it.
Yeah.
Like, would it kill you to knock on my door for a change? Would it kill you to actually make the contact before I do? And maybe it's unfair because I was working quite a lot as well. But maybe it's unfair, but it just seemed to me that a lot of relationships that I had, a lot of friendships that I had, was one-sided. I would always be the one to have to make the contact, and that kind of annoyed me after a while, so I just stopped doing it. So if anyone wants to contact me, they have to contact me. It's very and as well, having bipolar, there are times where I just don't want to talk to people, and there are times where I just don't have, I wouldn't say the confidence, but I just don't have it in me to initiate conversation. But I'll participate if someone makes that contact. So it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing that that my brain, I want to stop talking now.
Microraptor, yes, I did say horse artillery. Tusk, my best friend is Jesus.
My oldest friend is Jesus.
My oldest friend.
Well, technically, if we were talking about oldest as in years, as opposed to how long I've known them, it would have probably been the person who owned the farm, because he was in his 70s. So technically, if we're talking about oldest friend, not longest friend, but even with him, I knew him for 12 years, 11, 12 years. So
wow.
Yeah, and there's very few people that I have that kind of connection with, I'm going to be honest. Just because I'm lazy. I've gotten very fucking lazy when it comes to dealing with people. That's me 90% of the time. Yes. Okay. But I love you.
You can't have her. She's mine. She's mine.
Fuck off, Stream Elements. Nobody wants you. Tusk for £5 says, prepare yourself. You must. You know it's a must. You gotta have a friend in Franklin. Really? Really, Tusk? Fuck off. So for everyone that doesn't know the Franklin story, Tusk, being a prick, decided that because he had given me my first super chat, which I really truly appreciate, he was the first one to donate, that he decided he had the right to name one of my eyebrows, which is, he said he would name Franklin. But here's the thing, guys. I did not agree to that way of thinking. So unless I agreed in principle, yeah, time me out. So we were watching The Four Swordsmen yesterday, and I got to time Tusk out. It was great. Thank you to The Four Swordsmen for allowing me to time Tusk out. I've been wanting to do that for a long time. It's great fun. I've tried contacting you through Messenger Goat, but apparently goats don't like the thought of swimming to Ireland. They don't. They don't. And what's more is if you give them a sheet of paper, they're going to eat that paper.
Yeah, that's right. So your message is never going to get there anyway.
Your message is long gone, my friend. Etty says he's never going to forgive you. He moaned about it all night. Oh, Tusk. Tusk. Yes, see, Dora has it right. Dora has it right. Friends are overrated. I hate you all equally.
I love that. That's great. Sorry.
Yes, Sir Little, thank you. And pass on my thanks to all of the swordsmen for allowing me the opportunity to time out Tusk just for the crack. Because it kept me entertained for the entire life. The entire night. Do you know Friends? Yeah, I know. It's a weird concept. It's a weird concept.
Messenger goats are a bad idea.
Speaking of bad ideas, it's half past.
Absolutely. Is it half past already?
It is.
Okay.
It is. Oh, that's hilarious. That is fucking hilarious. Well done.
I had so much fun making that. Thanks to Tatty for the great idea.
Oh, thank you, Teddy. And Microraptor for 50 secs gives a load of hearts. Thank you so much,
Awesome.
Microraptor. That's awesome. I love hearts. I love hearts.
Well, find the goat, folks.
Spot the goat. Spot the goat. Thanks for triggering my door again. You are most welcome. Fred Bailey says it's under the tree. It's under the 30 tree. Let's not forget. Let's not forget. I haven't. Thank you for that reason. Fuck's sake.
You're welcome.
Right. Wait. I think. Hang on. Where was it? There was a few guesses. Professor White bother for the same reasons. Yeah. Gah. Shit. I think someone has it.
Really? Where?
Scroll up.
I'm looking. Go. I don't see it. Who said?
Scroll up. I'll post it
before Microraptor's hearts.
No, after. Look in the chat, in the private chat.
Okay, I'm looking right now.
Bear with us, folks. Bear with us. Are we supposed to have sound? Sound on what?
Give me 1 second here. We got a winner.
Yay!
Bada bing, bada
Demon.
boom.
So Demon
Orb.
If you have a microphone, you get to come on with us next week.
There she be. Good job, Demon Orb.
So Demon, if you can message me either on Discord or on email, craftykeela@gmail.com. It's in the description anyway. Let us know, and you can be our guest next week. Yay!
Awesome. And should I trigger Mr. 42's daughter again? This gonna do it
Should
again.
you what now?
I think I triggered.
Okay.
I think I triggered Mr. Demon or Mr. 42's daughter. So
Do it.
just
Do
for
it.
her. Just for her. There you go, Mr. 42's daughter. That was just for you.
Nice.
Yay. Okay, so what's next on our question list?
Give me one sec. I'm just making sure that my email is in the chat. Right. So, let me see. What was something that you were really into as a kid?
Something I was really into. Well, when you say as a kid, are you talking like grade school kid?
Yeah, as a child, what was like your favorite thing to do, or your favorite thing to watch or listen to, or
My favorite thing to watch was Jerry Anderson's Thunderbirds.
Thunderbirds are awesome.
The Thunderbirds. Thunderbirds are go. My favorite was Thunderbird 2.
Carl
I was
Edwards.
really into that.
Am I too late to find the goat? Yes, unfortunately, Demon Orb found it. Yay! So Demon Orb is coming on. Thunderbirds. I came after the Thunderbirds time.
Yeah.
The things that I was most into that I can remember, because I don't really remember much of my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
But the things that I do remember being into, I was big into Pokemon. Fucking loved Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
And what else? There was another thing that I was going to say. The Animaniacs. Fucking Animaniacs was the best thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing was Power Rangers. I loved Power Rangers. I loved the yellow one. I loved the yellow one. Everyone had a favorite Power Ranger. Mine was yellow.
Yours was yellow.
I hated the color. I hated fucking yellow as a color, but I loved her because she was awesome.
Yeah. No, for me it was the Thunderbirds when I was in grade school, and then in high school, actually, the thing that I really loved the most was the drama club, stage acting, stage performing.
Yeah,
I love the drama club.
I was in, as I said, variety groups from the age of about 5. I started in the variety groups, and then I had to drop out at like 8 for a little while because of mental health issues. And then I went back to it when I was 10 and stayed in it until I was 18, 19. So, yeah. I was never into Power Rangers. Micro. The original Power Rangers now. The original Power Rangers. Fucking loved it. Loved it. And of course, the big thing that I was into from the age of 4 or 5 was Doctor Who. I've always loved it. My granddad, that was the only time really that I got time with my granddad, because my granddad, like my nanny and granddad had 11 kids, and then all but one had a load of kids. Me and my sister are the only ones that are in the family that where the parent only had 2 kids. The rest of them had 3 or more. So, yeah.
Wow.
For me, it was Power Rangers, Pokemon, and fucking and I don't know, fucking Doctor Who and stuff. Yeah. If you could have any animal as a pet, anyone at all, what animal would you choose?
Any animal at all as a pet. Yeah, it might sound like a cop out, but I'm going to say a goldfish because they're too stupid to be upset when you're gone for a long time, and if they die, they're cheap to replace.
Oh. So in the history of animals, you would choose a fucking goldfish.
A goldfish, yeah, because I don't have the patience to take care of anything more than that.
Well,
But no,
yeah.
honestly, I do like dogs, but I just don't have the space and the time to care for them properly.
Fucking Little Wolf. Little Wolf was listening to what I was saying earlier. Polar bear dog. That's out of The Legend of Korra. Polar bear. That polar bear dog is amazing. Is amazing. Fucking saber-toothed tiger, says Clive.
Wow.
Little wolves are great pets. For you. I don't know what I would choose. I'd love, obviously, goats would be my go-to thing. But if I could have any pet, that's, and no humans. You're not allowed to own humans. Let's not do that, Tatty. Not a good idea. If I could have any animal as a pet, that's a difficult one.
Yeah, I've never really considered the question enough to give you an answer. That.
Wait, where do I apply? What, as a pet? No, Neil, no. Just, I don't kink shame at all, but I don't do that. One of those. That micro. No. What would I want as a pet? Probably would be. Actually, I'm gonna go back to a proper one. I'm gonna say a cat. I love cats. There's an intelligence to cats that we can learn from, or a kestrel. When I was a kid, I used to watch a program called Animal. What was it? Well, I can't even think of the name of it. The Animals of Farthing Wood. And foxes. I love foxes. They don't make great pets, but they actually kind of do at the same time. But there was my love of kestrels and hawks started there, birds of prey, because they would not have gotten far without kestrel. Like, everyone loves Elle, and Elle was the kind of wise old biddy, but she was so fucking complainy. Whereas kestrel would just do her lookout duties, and she would most likely be the one to come back and say, there is danger up ahead. We need to be careful. We need to go here. We need to do this. And nobody would listen to her. And then they'd pass off her ideas as their own. Thanks, fox. How about a fox? So maybe a fox, but for me, it would definitely be. I'd love a kestrel. I love, just because they're gorgeous beasts. Yeah. So,
all right.
Probably one of them. I don't know.
Cool.
And you're able to send messages with kestrel. Here's a question: have you ever saved an animal's life? And we're not talking about a person, a non-person animal, non-human animal.
I don't recall having ever saved an animal's life. No.
I have.
I've helped an animal that belonged to my girlfriend at the time, but no, I can't say that I saved her life.
Yes, Pablo Mama says, weird conversation to jump in on. We're asking random questions. This is the kind of day that we're having today.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just shooting the shit.
Yes. I have saved many sheep lives. Well, yeah, as a farmer, definitely, because there's been times where a goat, like at one stage, three of our kids, and I say kids, they were about nearly a year old, some of them, and fell halfway down a cliff because our land went down to the cliffs, and then there was the big drop. And sometimes they would go down the cliff, but because there was rain the day before, when they were trying to get back up, it was too slippery. So I actually had to scale down a cliff face in order
Mm-hmm.
to get three goats back up onto the cliff. Um,
Mm.
because goats will always try to test your fences. And as soon as they get, yeah, as soon as they get the chance, they're gone. They're off trying something else. So yeah. And then of course in birth, in helping them deliver, if you don't get a kid out in time, the kid is going to die. If you don't get the kid out in time, the mother could die. So there is time and time again where you would be like
Like
the
double
amount of times,
jeopardy.
yeah, the amount of times that I'd seen like uh, the hoof, one of the legs would be bent, and you have to go in, you have to straighten the leg out, you have to push the kid back, you have to straighten out the leg, or the neck could be bent, and
Yeah.
she's trying to push out a kid with the neck bent, and it's just going to get jammed. So you have to push the kid back again. And they're versatile little cons. Ones that you would absolutely believe were 100% dead have survived. Um, so yeah, that kind of thing. And the other thing was I was involved at 13, 14, I was involved in some of the catteries around Dublin with the SPCA. So
Mm-hmm.
saving animals' lives just kind of goes hand in hand with that. But I had a very strong connection with cats as opposed to the dogs. Everyone loves a dog. And yes, I do love dogs as well, but there was a connection there with cats that I understood their language where not a lot of people gave a shit. And so part of my job was to make stray cats, and it wasn't even stray cats, but um sorry, Taddy, fucking crafty pushes kids. Um, thanks for that. Thanks for that. Um, yeah, coming backwards, breech birth is the fucking worst, and it's the scariest as well. So, that was horrible, horrible to deal with. But with the cats, part of your job, and you're volunteering, so you're not actually being paid for this. But part of it was to make cats adoptable. So you would be working a lot behind the scenes, trying to calm cats down or trying to make them used to human contact. And the amount of times that I wasn't supposed to be in the cattery and ended up staying in the cattery for hours on end. Yeah, I definitely believe that I was able to create a situation in the cattery that I worked in where more cats were adopted than previous, because
Mm-hmm.
otherwise cats they'd just be killed, they'd be euthanized, and that made me sad. Fucking hated it.
Mm.
So yeah,
Okay.
I hope. Okay, we're going to end on this because I know this is going to take a little while to actually explain. But what is the strangest dream you've ever had?
Well, I don't really dream very much, to be honest. Um, hmm. I can't really recall one. Sorry, I really can't. Most of my dreams are, if I have a dream, they're short and they're stupid, and I barely remember them.
That's what we want to hear, the short and stupid ones.
Well, I'm trying to. It's
Most
been a
bizarre
long
one.
time since I've had one. Huh?
The most bizarre one that you can
The
think of.
most the most bizarre one that I can think of.
Just anyone that you can think of.
Oh, I can't think of anything.
Okay, I'll go.
I really can't. Yeah, you go ahead. I'll think some.
Micro says, I like the story on Etty's stream where a goat saved you after you hurt your leg. Yeah, I have so many stories about the goats. So many. And I don't know if I actually said this on that stream or not, but I had a series of dreams. Very, 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 very strange dreams when I was on the farm. And I think it's the simple fact that when you have a connection with something or someone, that you can actually tell in a weird sense. And I don't remember my dreams. I very, very rarely remember my dreams. But here we go. So I had a goat called Isla. Isla was, Micro just mentioned Elon there. Isla was her mother. So Isla was Elon's mother. And Isla was about 13. She was 15 when she died. But Isla, when she was 13, I had this weird, weird dream one night, and she was too old to give birth anymore because they kind of end at around 11, and she hadn't given birth in about 3 years. So I had a dream that I was walking Isla around a shopping center. I'd never seen the shopping center until years later. But I was walking her around like a pet parade for some fucking reason. It was the weirdest thing ever. And why I would choose Isla when I had someone like Elon, I don't know. But I had Isla anyway. She was a mean and bitter old woman. She didn't like people. She kind of kept herself to herself. So anyway, we're walking around this shopping center. Hey, Jump Monk, good to see you. You're gonna love this fucking story.
Hey, monkey.
So it's kind of gruesome as well. So yeah, she ended up giving birth in the middle of this shopping center. And she had one fully grown kid that was absolutely huge and like a half-formed, shriveled up. Like the head was fine, the front legs were fine, and then the rest of the body, I still remember it so vividly, was all shriveled up. Like in Harry Potter, when you see the old shriveled up kind of thing of Voldemort. That's kind of what this kid looked like. And it was so bizarre. So I ran down the next morning when I jumped out of my sleep, went down. Everyone was fine. Isla was fine. Not a bother on her. But because of the dream, I decided to keep her up that day. So we brought the goats up to milking. Everything was normal. All of the kids, by the way, this was in the middle of July. All of our kids had been born in February, March. So this was the complete wrong time of the year for anyone to have a kid. So I kept her up, and she wouldn't. So we had a bank area that I was talking about on Etty's stream, but she wouldn't leave her pen. So I just had to keep feeding her and whatever. And about 2:00, she started making signs of nesting, which is what they do just before they kid. They kind of gather up and try to get comfortable. They gather up all the hay and the straw together into like a little nest area and try to get comfortable. And so I was worried. So I phoned up the vet and I said, look, she is 13. She's not going to survive this. If it's not likely that the kids are going to survive or whatever. So be on call, which meant that we had to have the ferry on call to get her out to him, just in case. And so all of a sudden, this kid start coming. But what usually happens when goats are delivering is they come in the kind of Superman position where the legs will come out first. The head just popped out. And I was like, oh shit. So what I would have to do is put the head back in and get at least one of the legs straightened. Couldn't do that because it just wasn't working. So it ended up, I had to bring her out on the ferry. The vet met us on the pier and came out and he actually had to take the head off with a cheese wire, which was nasty, to have to watch. Because I was holding Isla up because she was struggling at this stage. She was so tired and so weak. that I was literally holding her up. My arms were under both her legs, both sets of legs. So I was kind of, yeah, it was exhausting. I was bruised. My actual arms were bruised trying to hold her up because she was a heavy, heavy mama. And so he took the kid out. The kid was the size of 2 kids. It was that big. It was the size of a 3-week-old kid. And so because of the dream, I was like, look, will you go in and see if there's any other kids? And he was saying, the size of this kid, there won't be any other kids. I said, for sake of mine, because this dream just kept coming back to me. I was like, please, 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 just look. And of course, when he went in, there was a second kid that was absolutely tiny and half developed. It didn't even have fur. So that was the strangest dream I have ever had in my life.
Wow. That is strange.
Yeah. It
Wow,
was
that's
just
really
a weird
strange.
thing. And it happened then later the next season with Tansy. Tansy had 2 kids. One of them was Silver. And I had a dream that night. One of the nights he wasn't doing very well. He actually had a twisted stomach. So he wasn't feeding, and we had to syringe feed him for the first 2 days. And I had a dream one of the nights that I fell asleep with him in my arms, and when I woke up, he was dead. I know these are horrible, but when I actually went down to the pen that morning, he was dead.
Strange.
Very. Can't explain it. Can't explain it. Don't even want to try and explain it. But yeah. And I think there was such a connection between me and my goats that, like, the nights before, I hadn't had dreams. Maybe I did, but I didn't remember them. But these dreams, I jumped out of my sleep and I remembered them, and what happened. So it was weird.
That is weird, man.
It was very strange. So that was, yeah. Thanks, Clive. Crafty kills goats in her sleep. Sleep killing? Question mark? No. No, because Isla didn't die. That was the thing. But the kids, they were that big. And it's just a weird kind of connection that I had with the goats. That I was able to sense that there was something happening. Whether or not it actually came true or not, that's not the point. It was the fact that I had such a connection with these beasts that I was able, in some way, shape, or form, able to feel when something was happening with them. So.
Yeah. I've heard of that before. People very close to each other, and they can be far apart, but something happens to one, the other will wake up suddenly
and sense it, yeah.
And sense it, yeah. It's weird. I don't understand how it all works, but it does happen. I've heard of it before.
And do you know what? I think the day we actually do understand it will be a sad day in humanity.
Yeah, because it'll probably stop.
Or we'll be too conscious of it and we'll overthink things. So yeah, I don't like it. The idea of understanding it, nah.
Some things are best left alone.
Micro, maybe your subconscious knowledge that she was pregnant, along with your knowledge of her age, could cause an issue. Absolutely, there are countless rational explanations. But I don't really care why. I care the fact that it happened, and I had such a strong connection with them that I was able to be there for when things like that happened. So, yeah. It was a good story to end on.
Absolutely. And with that, it's time to pull the plug on this thing, I think.
Yay!
Yeah. So what do you got coming up this week?
Well, right. So here's the thing. I will be on Agree to Disagree later today, where it's the 1-year anniversary really of Agree to Disagree. So me and Katz are just going to have a series of silly little debates which I'm gonna completely win because fun. No, it's gonna be fun. So the first one, I think one of them is it better to be a ninja or a pirate? I will be arguing for ninja because ninjas are awesome.
Ninjas are cool.
And then, like, I think we're gonna do one on, Inside Crafty's Mind is scary. It's very fucking scary. But I think we're doing one on superheroes, which is better, Marvel or DC. So that's gonna be fun.
Cool.
And yeah, we'll see what else happens. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be a laugh. And what's more is I'm hoping that this first debate, like these little debates, are going to set up what I want to do for the show or for the channel, where we actually teach people how to construct arguments. We teach people how to be debaters. And we change a little bit of the nature of debates on YouTube to be a little bit more formal and a little bit more respectful than we've seen on other channels. Pirate ninjas are the new unit of energy on Mars. Okay, then.
Okay,
that's a thing. And Sir Little Wolf says, but pirates get the booty.
Yay!
Ninja Lives Matter. Blue Marble Science. It's good to see you.
Blue.
So yeah, if you're around, pop in to Agree to Disagree in about an hour. So we'll have a good fun.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, I have been promising to bring back Challenging Conspiracies. My headspace hasn't really been there for a little while. But it will be brought back, and I'm going to be doing a Challenging Conspiracy that I've been promising for a while, but it's going to air on someone else's channel, which I can't actually announce at the moment. So they have a hell of a lot more fucking subscribers than I do, but it's a real honor to do this for that channel because I love that channel and I'm always on that channel. So watch this space.
Absolutely.
Blue.
Absolutely.
Fucking love you, man. I love what you're doing with the channel, and yeah. Yay.
Yeah, it's a great channel.
Sable Eagle says, where am I? Next week on Life on the Flipside, spot the goat and at least 17 of the ninja.
Oh.
Yes.
How am I going to hide 17 of them?
There are actually 29 ninja in the current background. But they're ninjas, so you can't see them.
That's right.
Right. With that, guys, first of all, fucking Pain and Progress next Friday.
Yes. Absolutely. 11 p.m. UTC. And
that is going to be fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's our next one again is a Thor episode. And other than that, I don't know if I'm going to be on any other channels for live streams, but if I am, we'll get the info out. So watch the space. But other than that, I have nothing else planned. Awesome. Just working on Series 5 and getting things set up and ready for a test run. And
excitement.
Yeah. So that's it.
Awesome. So, right, folks, if you're around in an hour, pop in to Agree to Disagree. It's going to be fun. It's going to be random. Yeah. And as always, please, please, please wear your mask. Stay safe. If you have the opportunity to get the vaccine, fucking get the vaccine. Just do it. And keep being awesome. Bye, people.
Awesome. Bye-bye. Bye.